Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a very different video. I was actually watching some videos on YouTube of some of the people that I love to watch, and I saw this video come up in the suggested underneath, and as soon as I saw it I was like, oh, what a great idea. So I went ahead and watched the video, and the person who created the video was Kaylee Butte. Now I think she said that she actually had seen another YouTuber do it first, but I definitely wanted to let you guys know that's where I got this idea from. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I need to do this video. I think it is such a great idea. So today we're going to be talking about makeup products that I have returned. So I don't have any of these products anymore, obviously, because I have returned them, but I will insert photos for products as I bring them up and as I talk about them, but I just thought this was a really great idea. Now, I have mentioned this before in some of my other videos, but I rarely return makeup products. And I think the last time I mentioned it, I had a few people ask me why. So part of it is working at Sephora, I see what happens to the makeup and it really makes me sad. So I am very, very selective in the products that I choose to return. Now, if it's something that's unopened and unused, I feel a little bit better about it because I know they can resell those products. So sometimes I'll buy something on a whim and then be like, oh, okay, I shouldn't have spent the money on this. I haven't opened it and tried it out yet, so I'm going to go ahead and return it. I've done that a few times, so none of those products am I going to mention in this video, but these products are ones that I've actually tried out and returned to the store, so I know that they have to destroy those, and it breaks my heart, Sephora. I wish that you could donate them or something. You know, I've talked to some of my other coworkers about that, and I really think that Sephora and Ulta and all the other makeup retailers out there, I really wish that they would come up with some sort of a charity to donate the makeup, because working at Sephora, I know this is totally off on a tangent, you guys, I'm sorry, but working at Sephora and seeing the amount of damages that we destroy on a daily basis, I think it's kind of disgusting, but that's my opinion. Let me tell you, and when I first started working there, it broke my heart. Like, now I feel like I'm almost like desensitized to it because we see so much coming in. But at first I was just like, I cannot believe all of this is going to be just destroyed. It's sad. It's very sad. Especially because a lot of it you can sanitize. But anyways, let's get back to this subject because that was not what I meant to talk about at all. But yeah, these are the makeup products that I have tried and decided to actually return to the store. So, as I mentioned, I don't do it often, so this is going to be kind of a short list, but let's start with the first one I can remember returning to Sephora, and that's this here. This is the Urban Decay Naked 2 Basics. So it is one of the smaller palettes that are all matte. Now I did do a very long time ago a review and I think a tutorial using this palette. I will try to link that above. But the reason I ended up returning this is because the palette is $29 and you get 6 eyeshadows in there, and I just felt like it was very boring and basic for that price. I mean, it was basically $30 for 6 eyeshadows, and there was not a lot of variety in this little tiny palette. Now, I know a lot of people really love these palettes, but I just felt like for me, it wasn't worth that money. So after I had reviewed it and did the tutorial, I used it a few more times, and I was just like, you know, this is just a waste of money for me. I know I'm not gonna utilize this as much as it cost me. So I did end up returning that one. As long as we're talking about Urban Decay Naked palettes, yeah, I did have a second one that I decluttered, or actually returned, and this one is the new Naked Heat palette. So again, I did do a review and tutorial using this palette, which I will link above, but the problem with this one for me, it's $54, so it is definitely, you know, an investment in money. And I just felt like every single time I used this eyeshadow palette, I got the same look. No matter what shades I reached for out of this palette, there were 5 or 6 shades that were so close to the same thing that you felt like, or at least I personally felt like when I put it on my eye and blended it out, it looked the same as the one next to it. And I was like, why have so many that are so similar? I appreciate that they had like a theme, they wanted the heat theme, but you could make a little bit more variance between the shades so at least you could use them to create a gradient look on your eye, but it didn't work that way because they were so similar. It looked like the same eyeshadow. So I just felt like for $54, I wanted more variety. Now, I know a lot of people love this palette. I don't think the quality was bad. I think the quality was absolutely fine, but for me, again, like I said, I just didn't feel like it gave me the versatility. I have lots of other palettes that are near that price point that I totally believe in and love and would spend the money again, but that was just not one of them. So unfortunately, I did decide to return that one, and like I said, I don't take returns lightly. It breaks my heart to return things, but that one I was just like, I can't justify spending that much money on that particular eyeshadow palette. The next thing that I returned, I did mention this one in a disappointing products video, and then I immediately took it back the next day because I hated this product. And this is from Smashbox. It is the Studio Skin waterproof concealer. This concealer just was nothing. It didn't provide any coverage at all. I felt like it was a very, very light amount of coverage for a concealer. You need a medium to full coverage. I mean, if you're gonna be reaching for a concealer, you need it to cover, because that's concealers, usually you're using it to correct your under eye darkness or a blemish, and if it has light amount of coverage, what is the point of even using a concealer in the first place? This was a $25 concealer, so I definitely expected it to do a little bit more than it did, and for me it was just a total fail, and again, I just couldn't justify spending the money. A lot of times I will just re-gift something to someone else, but I knew this wasn't gonna work for anybody, so I was like, no, I'm just gonna return that. Not gonna happen. The next one is actually a very recent return. I just returned this probably a week ago, and it is from Living Proof. It is their shampoo and conditioner from the full line, so it's for volume, the full shampoo and the full conditioner. I had bought both, the full size of each one, and I was trying to use them. Okay, so if you guys have not heard already, because I talk about it in a lot of videos, I do have scalp psoriasis, and my scalp is very sensitive. That's a good word. It's very sensitive, and I really have a struggle finding shampoos that don't irritate my scalp, so I have to be really cautious with what I use. I'll usually immediately know if it's going to cause irritation. There's different degrees though with my psoriasis. There's things that irritate it right away and just make it like freak out and get inflamed and just really irritated and itchy and painful. And then there's ones that might work for a little bit but then start to do that, and then there's ones that will work for quite a while. But this particular one irritated my scalp so bad immediately. So I knew I couldn't keep it just because it was very irritating to my scalp. When I used it, my scalp just felt like it was on fire. It felt dry and itchy and painful, and so yeah, I only used it for about a week, and then I was like, no, I can't keep this. So I did end up returning both of those. All right, the next product that I returned, this one was for a couple different reasons. One was for packaging reasons, and the other one was because of the product itself. But this is the Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Foundation. So my kids actually purchased this for me in my Kids Buy My Makeup Challenge, and the original one that they had got me, the color was a little bit off, but I was gonna keep it because I didn't feel right about returning things that I let my kids randomly pick for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't feel like that wasn't Sephora's fault, and it wasn't the brand's fault that my kids randomly pick something if it didn't work out for my coloring. So I wasn't gonna return it for that, but the actual, it's a like it's got that weird like pump thing, almost like a serum dropper kind of situation. Anyway, so it had that little dropper thing, and the first one that my kids bought me, that was broken, and the color was wrong, like I said. So I went ahead and exchanged it for the right shade, hoping to get one that had a pump that works. So I did that, and the second one that I had, it worked for like a couple applications, and then the pump broke again. So I couldn't actually get the little pump thing on the top to pull out any product. So after that, I was like, okay, I didn't really even like the foundation formula very much because it was like a light to medium coverage and very glowy, and that doesn't work great for my combination skin, especially since I prefer more full coverage. So at that point, I was like, okay, that one's not, it's just not for me. So I went ahead and returned it twice. So that one was definitely a fail. All right, and then the last product that I returned kind of recently was from NARS, and this is the NARS Sun Wash Diffusing Bronzer in the shade Seaside. Now let me grab it. I do actually have the Sun Washed Bronzer in Laguna. I bought them together at the same time, Seaside and Laguna. Now Laguna, I really love this one. You can even see like the pattern is kind of rubbed down because I've been using it so much. I love this one. I think it's great. Now the problem with Seaside, which I believe is the lightest shade available, it just did not show up on me whatsoever, and it was almost kind of like a peachish, I can't say that, peachy, a peachy orange color. It was very warm, but in kind of a weird light peach kind of shade, and it barely showed up, so I'd have to really dig my brush and apply it, and dig my brush and apply it, and just like build and build and build and build to be able to see anything at all. So I think if you have like porcelain fair skin and you have more of a yellow undertone, it might work for you, that particular shade, but for me it was just like, no, this isn't gonna work. I can't even see it on my face. I'm gonna have to use half of this product just for one application, so I went ahead and returned that one. But like I said, I do really love the Laguna shade. It was just the shade that was a miss for me. All right, you guys, so those are all the products that I can remember returning. Sephora edition, I guess. I have returned some drugstore products in the past. I just could not remember for the life of me which products they were. It's nice with Sephora. I have like a history of my purchases in my account, so I can go back and look and be like, oh yeah, I did return that and I returned that. So that made it a little easier to remember what I've returned. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Please leave any questions or comments down below. I'd be happy to answer as many as I can. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.